In this video, we're going to run down the rule that they passed in the Dodd-Frank Act that protects family offices and if it actually causes some systemic risk here in 2025. Think of a family office as a private corporation that manages money for one very wealthy family, kind of like having your own private investment firm. And these aren't small operations. Many family offices manage billions of dollars, and when you add them all up, they control over 16 trillion in wealth globally. To put this in perspective, some of the largest family offices out there manage more money than many of the well-known investment firms that you might have seen on TV. The special treatment these offices get comes from something called the Family Office Rule, which was created in 2010 as part of the Dodd-Frank Act. This law was passed after the 2008 financial crisis, when the government was trying to make things safer in the financial system. While most of the laws added stricter rules for banks and investment firms, this actually gave family offices the unique exemption that they have today. Think about the basic idea behind financial rules. Government's job is to protect investors and money that they give to other people that they trust to manage it. It's like when you put your money in a bank or invest it in a mutual fund, you're counting on somebody else's efforts to take care of those savings. So the government wants to make sure that there are strict rules they have to follow to keep that money safe. But family offices are different. When a wealthy family sets up an office to handle their own fortune, they're managing their own money, not other people's savings. So the government believes that people should have the freedom to handle their own wealth however they want, even if they are hiring experts to help them do it. To understand this better, let's look at who counts as family under these rules. The definition is actually pretty interesting and designed to work with how modern families really function today. We'll start with something called the core family, and this is exactly like it sounds. Spouses, kids, grandkids, brothers, sisters, parents, and all their children. The rule understands that today's families aren't always that simple though, so it includes adopted kids, stepchildren, and even ex-spouses who might still be involved in managing the family's money, especially if they have children that they are taking care of. Then we have something called the family money structure. All the different ways wealthy families organize their money. These aren't just regular bank accounts. They might include special trusts that pass money down through generations, family-controlled charitable contributions and foundations, or special companies set up for specific investments. As long as these mainly benefit the family members, they're allowed under the rules. These rules also include certain key employees of the family office, which makes a lot of sense. To get and keep talented people, family offices often want to let their important staff participate in some of the investments. But there are some limitations to this, of course. Only certain employees qualify. Usually these have to be senior employees who have worked there at least a year, and they have a really important role in running things at the family office. These employees can invest alongside the families, but they can't pass these opportunities on to their own families or friends. And that really gets into the broader definition here of who counts as family and how this helps in several ways. It allows family offices to work effectively in the real world, where family relationships and business, they can be complicated. It helps them keep valuable employees who manage the family's wealth, and it recognizes that modern families often include people who aren't blood relatives. Now, here's where the limitations come in though. Family offices can't just keep expanding forever. The rules are very careful to stop them from turning into regulated investment firms by accident. For example, if an important employee leaves, they usually can't keep investing with the family. And if the family starts giving investment advice to friends or distant relatives, well, they might lose their special status and have to follow the same rules as a regulated investment advisor firm. This whole system tries to find a balance. It needs to be flexible enough to work with modern families, but strict enough to prevent people from misusing the rules. The idea isn't to create a loophole. It's to recognize that managing your own family's money, even if it is billions of dollars, is very different from managing other people's savings. So here's the key point. The amount of oversight should match the potential harm to others. When you're managing your own money, your mistakes mainly affect you and your family. But when you're managing people's money that's outside of your family, your mistakes could ruin their lives, and they've trusted you with those savings. So that's why the rules are very different for family offices compared to regular investment firms. The family members also have to use their own family as the controlling officers, and they make the big decisions. This is important because it ensures the family office truly serves the family's interest rather than becoming a regulated investment advisor in disguise. And so here's where things start to get a little more complex. These families can't advertise themselves as investment advisors or offer financial advice to people outside the family. This might seem simple, but in practice, it can get a little tricky. For example, if a family office finds a great investment opportunity and they want to tell their friends about it, well, I have to be pretty careful about that. And if they share the information the wrong way, they can cross a line that pushes them over to the investment advisory firm, and that comes with a whole other world of stuff that they have to do. The world of wealthy families often involves cooperation, though, which creates some interesting challenges. Sometimes wealthy families want to work together on an investment. Imagine several families want to pool capital to buy something expensive, like a company or a sports team or a real estate development. This is what we call club investing. And it's where things, again, can kind of get complicated. Family offices have to structure these deals very carefully in order to make sure they're not accidentally providing investment advice to other families. Employee management also requires careful consideration. If someone works for multiple family offices giving financial advice, it could turn into something called multifamily office, which is what we provide at Digital Family Office. This is where they would need more oversight. It creates interesting situations where these families would want to share talented employees to save money, but they can't do it without, doing all the other things that are required for compliance. The benefit of this special status that they get from the rule in the Dodd-Frank Act is significant. Regular investment firms have to file detailed reports about their investments, undergo regular inspections and audits, and maintain extensive records that regulators can review at any time. Family offices avoid most of this oversight, giving them much more privacy and flexibility in how they operate. Single family offices avoid most of this oversight, giving them much more flexibility and privacy in the way that they operate. This privacy has advantages and disadvantages for the broader financial system, though. On the positive side, it allows wealthy families to manage their money efficiently without excessive bureaucracy. It also protects their privacy, which can be important for security reasons. This lack of transparency means that large pools of capital can move through markets with very little oversight, potentially creating hidden risks and market distortions that regulators don't have much power over. To stay within the rules, family offices typically employ sophisticated legal and compliance teams. These professionals help structure investments and operations to maintain the exemption while still allowing the family to pursue their own financial goals. It's like having a team of lawyers and accountants whose job is to keep the family office on the right side of the line between private family management and the regulated investment advisory. As wealthy families become more concentrated and the number of billionaire families grows, family offices are becoming extremely important players in global markets. They're managing $16 trillion in current capital. Their activities can affect everything from real estate prices to startup funding to major corporate deals, yet they operate largely outside the public view. This creates ongoing debates about whether or not our current regulatory approach makes sense in today's world. Should we maintain this hands-off approach to families managing their own wealth? Or do we need new rules for an era where private family offices have systemic risk? These questions are becoming especially important during times when markets have stress or there's a lot of volatility, or when family offices are involved in a high-profile market event. Understanding family offices helps us see how our financial system tries to balance different goals: protecting the public while respecting private wealth management, ensuring market stability while allowing for investment flexibility, and maintaining oversight while preserving privacy. It's a complex balance that continues to evolve as our financial system grows more sophisticated. If you have thoughts on this, please leave it in the comments below. Should we change regulation? Should there be more oversight? Or should people be able to do what they want with their money when they want to? Don't forget to like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.